Hello YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. And yes, I have my lighting and I have my fan. How you doing? So first, let me begin by saying that John G is my newest YouTube channel subscriber. So John G, welcome to the YouTube channel of yours truly, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. Why? Because I have my lighting and I have my fan. How you doing? So, as you can see, I have... Actually, you don't know this. I just realized you in YouTube land do not know this. So, the layout cloth that I have on the table is the layout cloth that I reserve for private readings. Now, if you take a look, and of course I'm going to have Drake do a little bit of a close-up. Drake is more commonly known as my awesome audiovisual person for my YouTube videos. You will see that it looks pretty darn good. That is because it is only for private readings. I would never dare bring this to a public venue. I would not bring this to a Moon Serpent and Bone market, no offense to Amy. I would not bring this to a psychic fair. I would not bring this to a metaphysical store where I'm offering my psychic services. Why? Because this is a beautiful silk cloth that I purchased in a beautiful Tibetan store that I know was more than $25. The owner said you can name your price. I named my price. And I have no doubt that if I had not named my price, this would have been a whole lot more than $25. So I want this to remain as pristine as possible. That is why it is only for private readings. I have brought this to private readings in clients' homes and at places like Ripley Greer Studios, but other than that, it remains in my home in a pouch that I use just for private readings. And I love the fact that more than 15 years have gone by and it still looks brand spanking new. I'm also going to show you these gorgeous crystals. So these two I purchased from Chris's Crystals and Jewelry, and these two I purchased from Universal Crystals, and I love them. They have become a constant on the layout table when I'm conducting a reading. So of course I'm going to list their contact information in the description box for this video, but make no mistake, I love all of their pieces. Both of them, Chris of Chris's Crystals and Jewelry and Mel's of Universal Crystals, have great juju and beautiful energy. So I am always happy to buy crystals from them. But getting to the topic of the video, so I go through a lot of preparation for events. As some of you may recall, the Moon Serpent and Bone 5th Annual Yule Festival is coming up in a few weeks. So I've already begun thinking about the outfit that I'm going to wear, and I'm also thinking about the different tools that I'm going to bring. Now, personally, this is primarily a personal thing and maybe a Western astrological thing, but I've noticed that when it's winter, I like to use decks, especially tarot decks that are black and white. And one of the very first black and white tarot decks that I purchased is called the Light and Shadow Tarot, which was written by Brian Williams and illustrated by Michael Goepferd. And I'm going to have Drake do a close-up of this box. This is my very first copy. As you can see, the box is a little beat up, but I've had it. It's one of my personal favorite tarot decks. And for the most part, it's my personal favorite black and white tarot deck. This was published by Destiny Books, which is headquartered in Rochester, Vermont, in the United States, and all of the cards are black and white. As you can also see, all of the cards are larger than standard size. This is a very chunky deck, as Avalon Cameron would say. Avalon, I still remember when I first began watching Avalon's videos, it was Avalon's Spiritual Odyssey, Avalon's Spiritual Odyssey. Now her channel is Avalon Cameron. But I remember she used the term chunky for a guidebook of an oracle card deck. So this deck is chunky, the guidebook is chunky. So this is one of my favorite long-time black and white tarot decks. One that's a more recent publication is The Tarot of the Abyss by Ana Tourian. And Actually, I think it's Ana Tourian. And I am very enchanted by this deck. Not so chunky, but it's still a beautiful deck. For some reason, I'm looking at the font, and it looks like Anna as opposed to Anne, but it could be Anne. Actually, it is Anna. And as you can see, it's a black and white deck. I love the High Priestess card in this tarot deck. I love the whole thing. I'm actually going to have Drake do a close-up of the deck really quick. So this is the gorgeous High Priestess card. This is my tarot totem, and it is a representation of my mother goddess, the goddess more commonly known as Isis. This is the back of the card design, which I think is just gorgeous. It's non-reversible, which means, if I remember correctly, that I cannot tell if the deck is upright or reversed before I turn it over. That's the one thing I don't like about certain tarot decks. I can't tell if it's upright or reversed before I turn the card over. And here is the front of the box. It's a beautiful box. I think this is one of the first purchases from magic.com, formerly known as magicplanet.com. Or it could have been another website, because I did have the option of a pouch, which is a little dusty, courtesy of Durga the cat, but that's another story. Another deck that I'm thinking of bringing is the Healing Light Lenormand by Christopher Butler. It's a Lo Scarabeo deck. And the reason why is because in magical traditions, Yule represents the return of light. Since this is called the Healing Light Lenormand, and Yule represents the return of light, Immult, the return of warmth, I figured this would be a good deck to bring. And I love the fact that it has silhouettes, because you can see this is the rider card of this deck, and here we have the dog card of this deck, and here we have, I think this deck has one lady card. Some Lenormand decks have 2 lady cards and 2 gentleman cards, but you can see that these are silhouettes. And the back of the card design is this beautiful Vesica Pisces. A Vesica Pisces is when 2 circles intersect and it has that almond shape. So for me personally, I've already decided that these are the decks that I'm going to bring to the Moon Serpent and Bone 5th Annual Yule Festival. And I'm sure that there will be others that I'm going to bring. Actually, it's funny I say this because there is a deck that I had temporarily forgotten as to where I had put the deck. So, Drake, if you could hand me that purple pouch, this one, that one, yes, thank you so much. So, this is one of the decks that I've purchased from Etsy. I do not remember the name of it offhand, but what I love about the deck is that it has different shades of the same color. For example, all of the diamond cards are different shades of blue and purple. All of the clubs, different shades of green. Not surprisingly, all of the hearts are different shades of red and pink. And spades. Actually, spades are purple. Diamonds are more blue. Although the ace of diamonds is this dusty lavender. But I really love this deck, and I love how colorful it is. And I also love the fact that it has jokers for all of the suits, which is something that I've never seen before. Like here, for example, is the Joker of clubs. So I find it fascinating because it makes me think of a tarot and playing card divination correlation. This pouch is part of a set, actually. So I almost never buy things from Amazon. I don't have anything against Amazon.com. I just feel that there are other merchants and other websites and other stores that have beautiful merchandise and that deserve to have people shopping at them more often. I do believe in supporting small businesses. I do believe in supporting local businesses. although some of those local businesses are in different countries, but I digress. So this is part of actually a 12 pouch set. Basically, each pouch has for the deck, and it has a smaller pouch of the same color and material for crystals. I love the fact that this deck fits perfectly in this pouch, and in the larger pouch that's for the decks, I have a total of 3 different decks. So I have this one and the other 2, which are in their respective boxes, in the same pouch. So I'm probably going to bring this one too, especially since I found it a little while ago. But these are some of the things that I think about when I'm preparing to come to different events, when I'm preparing to go to different public venues. I always think about making sure that, and of course there are other things. You know, there's a beautiful bag that Drake gave me, and it's my medicine bag, as my very first spiritual teacher Denise would say. But I call it my brujita bag. Brujita is the Spanish word for little female witch. So it's my brujita bag because it's purple, it's small, and it has a telescoping handle. I finally learned what it's called. It's a telescoping handle. I used to think it's a Pullman handle. It's a telescoping handle. So I love the fact that it's this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful purple color. I love the fact that it has different sections. I have a section that I reserve for business cards and their envelopes to give out to the clients. And then for in-person sessions, I have a section that has the hand sanitizer. I have a section on the inside that basically holds my laptop computer and my password notebooks. I know I'm supposed to memorize all the passwords, I get it, but I change passwords so often that having notebooks really helps. And then, of course, the main part is where I put the layout cloth and I put, the other things. I'm actually going to use the layout cloth for this upcoming Moon Serpent and Bone 5th Annual Yule Festival that I normally use for my full walkthrough videos when I'm here. I figured it would be a beautiful addition because it's this midnight black background and these beautiful silver stars, and I figured it would be so appropriate for a Yule festival. But believe me, my intention is to actually have the other usual layout cloths going forward. But I figure for the Yule festival, it'll be nice to use this particular layout cloth. So those are some of the things that I do in preparation of an event. Aside from the usual logistical things like making sure that I have my hotel reservation printout just in case there's a problem at the front desk, make sure that I arrive just before check-in, making sure that the room is clean, making sure that the Wi-Fi works. Because I've been to a few hotels where, depending upon where I'm located in the hotel, the Wi-Fi isn't that great, and for me, I need to have Wi-Fi, And then, of course, what time I want to arrive, what outfits I'm going to wear for the event, all that other stuff. And I'm sure that some of you in YouTube land go through this, whether or not you're a professional psychic reader. But for me, this is definitely one of the things. It's always about making sure that I have the tools that I'm going to use. I already have the runes that I'm going to use for this event setup. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And of course, if you have any questions in YouTube land, please feel free to ask, leave it in the comments, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I wish all of you a beautiful night, a wonderful weekend. Stay hydrated, stay safe, stay well, and stay tuned for the next video.